It is wonderful to be back here in Des Moines with all of you folks and the great work you're doing and being able to sort of support you a little bit for all this great work you do. We're here to cry out, to tell Iowa and the nation that drones are responsible for endless immoral acts and for war crimes. They're used deep in civilian territory, far from any line of combat, and they are typically used to commit war crimes. It is time we outlawed drones internationally and grounded them in the United States.
All right.
The drones are a symptom of and a part of a bigger, more encompassing malady, and that malady is war. Since 9/11, we have swept up in a culture of glorification of war. Because of that, we must look at war more carefully. War is not about conflict resolution. It does not resolve conflict. We know many ways to resolve conflict. Indeed, the truth is that conflict is conjured up to justify war. Take, for example, of Iraq. What were the reasons we went into Iraq? I can't even remember them all. Let's see. Saddam was hurting his people. He was going to give equality to women. Citizens were being tortured. Saddam was a threat to his neighbors. Nuclear weapons, weapons of mass destruction. They tried one excuse after another excuse after another excuse to try to justify the war. In fact, I remember Karl Rove one time I was interviewed, and the interviewee said, "Well, you knew that there were no nuclear weapons in Iraq. Why did you use the picture of a mushroom cloud over Europe?" And he said, "Because it worked." So it's this pattern of conjuring up conflicts to justify war to the citizens of the nation and the citizens of Iowa. Some people excuse war by saying war is diplomacy by another means. That's kind of crazy, you know that? That's kind of crazy. That's like saying that burning people at the stake is education by another means. It's about as stupid. I have also heard that war is failed diplomacy. When does a diplomatic process fail? Isn't diplomacy about working on it, discussing, carrying it forward until you get a better understanding of the other person and come to some kind of reason? Well, it does go on like that. It goes on like that until someone makes a drone attack and starts a damn war. I think it'd be more accurate to say that, rather than say that war is failed diplomacy, is to say that war is the assassin of diplomacy. That is what kills diplomacy. People also say that war is inevitable. War was created by man. War can be abolished by man. It's that simple. We can abolish war. People often even cite the Bible. They claim that Matthew 24:6 says that there always has been war and there always will be war. It doesn't say that. Matthew was just trying to say that time goes on and on. He said nothing about the inevitability or the continuation of war. But that's just used as an excuse. I would say that war is no more inevitable than burning at the people at the stake was inevitable. And we abolish that, we can so too abolish war. War is never inevitable. It always requires an active choice, an active decision to go to war. It also requires the acquiescence of the public to accept their insane justification for their war. Without our support, they couldn't have one more dumb war. Speaking of dumb wars, I always felt General Eisenhower did a good job summing up the war. He said, "I hate war as only a soldier who has lived it can. One who has seen its brutality, its futility, and its stupidity." Which sums up well. I just heard I just read a quote today, so I'm going to read to you also. This was by a past president. This was William Taft, who was also Supreme Court Justice. And then he said this in 1915, the early part of World War I. The present crisis, referring to World War I, does not change the philosophy of life nor the trend of human progress. It is indeed a tragic interruption. When the delirium of war is over, an iron law will compel those engaged in mutual destruction to seek one another again. The spectacle of human suffering and devastation should fire every boy and girl with a permanent revulsion against war. And the thought should be ingrained that war can be eliminated by the will of the people. So that's just a stumbling block. Sam Adams, speaking of the abolition of war and our ability to abolish war, said, "It does not require a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority, keen to set brush fires in people's minds." That's what we are here to do today. We clearly can abolish war and ground drones. I don't know that we will, but we will set fire to people's minds today. The struggle to abolish war and ground drones has two fronts, and those fronts are interlocked. One front is helping people to shed the scales, tear the scales for the blinders from their eyes so they can see that drones and war have never served the people, and they never will. That is why we are here today, to cry out with that truth. Every scale that falls from an eye helps, and also helps the other front, which is the other front is demanding that our power holders abandon war as a tool to enrich themselves and to enslave people, both at home and abroad. Each of our voices is very important, and everybody we bring into the movement makes our voices louder. Frederick Douglass said, in terms of trying to create change, power concedes nothing without the mind. It never has, and it never will. Find out what a people will put up with in silence, and you will have found the exact measure of wrong and injustice which will be imposed upon them, and it will continue until it is resisted. So, do we want to ground the drones and abandon war and abolish war? Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Let us go through and do it today.